The goal has always been to get athletes into the UFC. If I can do that and have them made in India entirely, represent our country on the highest level, then I would have done what I set out to do on day one. Personally saw no positives that were coming out from social media for me. I pick up a meme here and there on YouTube. I have students showing me in class and it's epic. I miss the memes. I'm completely self-taught off the internet. I got from white to black belt through John Danaher and other resources. I mean, I'd say 80%.
Still, that's a huge amount.
Majority amount.
Is that why you took 7 years as a white belt?
I had no coach. Okay. So I met Mike Morrell. He's a black belt under Half Gracie.
When someone comes to you and the first line is, मुझे UFC जाना है, what would you tell them? Like,
जाओ.
आपके साथ सीख के जाना.
Training करो. I mean, the biggest thing for me as a coach is people showing up to training. Consistency and discipline over everything else. Discipline, I would say, is the biggest thing you can take into becoming a champ. As a partner, what I could do to be... It's a very good question.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the MADtherapy Sessions podcast. Today is an interesting episode as we finally managed to catch hold of this guest after 3 long years. And our guest for today is Coach Ashwin Hoon. Mr. Hoon is a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu Blackbelt and a lifelong martial artist. The audio podcast is available on Spotify and YouTube Music. The links to them will be in the description down below. Enjoy the episode. When was your first podcast? आपने पहला podcast आपको याद है?
I think pre-COVID, just before COVID. Must have been 2020.
Pre-COVID?
2019?
Okay.
2019, yeah.
Because I've seen other podcasts.
A long time ago.
And like almost like last 3, जब से आपने मुझे मैसेज किया
जी,
I saw almost 3 podcasts.
Yeah.
3 complete ones. And though what I did, I took the video and if you have Google Gemini, you can put that video into Gemini and Gemini
questions.
नहीं, it'll give a transcript करके उसको पूरा
it transcribes
in 10
everything.
seconds, no, in concise कर देगी.
Wow.
This podcast में क्या
Full
बात
summary it gives you.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
it's very convenient.
Yeah. So I did for 2 of that and बाकी 3 तो I saw full. उसको छोड़े थे. What I just noticed was your video call, like your audio quality was always good.
Yeah.
Because
But the interview is...
Yeah, because ठीक है वो
is off. Yeah.
Plus COVID का time था वैसा.
No, I understand. Yeah.
So but this will be your first one.
Yeah, for sure.
First physical one वैसा, right?
First physical one.
अब आपको offers काफी आए.
Offers, I mean, yeah. I mean, I won't say too many, but yes, enough.
So any reason why like आप अभी इतना social नहीं हो? Social media पे या online इतना because पहले आप थे. अभी आप इतने नहीं हो. ऐसा any reason why?
Honestly, I can tell you that, okay, no, it helps me focus on my work. But it's none of that. It's just, I personally saw no positives that were coming out from social media for me personally. Like I would, it would affect my mood. It would affect my productivity. It would give me anxiety being connected to so many people at one point of time, And I realized that my phone was there for me. Okay, so I wanted to have control over it and I didn't want to be accessible to so many people at one point of time because it was just adding an unnecessary anxiety to my life.
It's been how many, like couple of years now?
It's been 3.5, at least almost 4 years.
कभी ऐसा feel नहीं हुआ?
I first got off WhatsApp, by the way. I got off WhatsApp because I felt same thing. I was connected to too many people that were not my family members.
But it's unbelievable, like, someone today, social media नहीं है, काफी लोग नहीं हैं.
जी.
WhatsApp पे ना होना and that too in India, like especially when you run a business.
What am I missing out on, doc? The good mornings, hello, have a great day.
But see, like I said, you are a business owner also.
Right.
काफी कुछ चीजें हैं, marketing होती है,
जी, absolutely.
So I mean, there are, of course, I agree completely to that. It just screws your, like first thing in the morning, आप उठो, आप phone check कर रहे हो.
You're a bot, right? You're living life on autopilot. You don't understand or realize how many times you've checked your phone in a day.
Right.
You're not having actual conversations with the people who are in front of you.
Right.
You're just a zombie going through the motions, checking your phone on repeat, opening and closing the same apps over and over again. So I felt like that was not good for my brain.
Any inspiration you had, like you heard someone do that, like when you decided to do that transition?
I think one of my grandparents and they had a phone that was not a smartphone. And their lives were just so much easier.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I thought back to my childhood, how if me and a friend decided we were going to meet at a certain time, at a certain place, that's it. It's done.
But it's also...
And if he can't make it, he can't make it. I go back home.
So SMS, I mean, that's how we are communicating. Since almost couple
I mean,
of years.
that's my preferred method because you'd be surprised at how concise people get once they realize they have to SMS you and not WhatsApp.
Yeah, because last night I was near the airport. मैं आपको फोटो भेजने वाला था.
जी.
मैं फोटो क्लिक किया. Like you can't send.
भेजूंगा कैसे?
नहीं वहाँ लिख किया MMS you can't send.
Right.
You have to. Because and that's when I realized कि my MMS settings were off in my phone. किसी को भेजती नहीं. Always send.
You don't even know how to put them on.
आप WhatsApp पे भेजते हो, Snapchat है, Insta है.
जी.
But I was like, oh shit.
What am I going to do? Email him?
Yeah.
But again, I would be happy receiving an email.
Yeah, but I wouldn't know that आपने check किया है नहीं किया है and then आप reply कर.
And then you get anxiety about whether I'm replying or not replying.
Yeah.
So, but see, that's the thing.
And honestly, when you replied back, I think after 20 minutes, I actually felt happy.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. I could have been in a car accident and then replied to you. But then in that much time, you've got anxiety and gotten upset with me or gotten happy with me. Just gone through a range of emotions that are not required.
But immediate family is okay with it? Like
100? No. So my immediate family, they have access. Like I have a separate source which I'm on. I can message them on.
Right.
But it's just for them.
Yeah.
Nobody else do I want to be connected with like 24/7. This is for my convenience and not anybody else's.
But friends, Karibi friends, of course, they also come in that.
Yeah, 100%. Like 1 or 2 friends, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
And maybe people who are out of the country.
But कुछ तो miss करते रहेंगे आप. Of course, there are a lot of.
Dude, I miss everything about it. Honestly, it's just like it's just the dopamine hits that you get over and over again. The reels, some of the memes. Oh my god, I miss memes sometimes.
Yeah, because you must be in the gym. Someone must be like
Like I have access to YouTube, and I would.
Yeah.
I'd pick up a meme here and there on YouTube. Yeah, I have students showing me in class.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's epic.
Yeah.
I miss the memes. Nothing else. The memes.
So you can make an alternative account just for the and.
I feel that would be cheating.
Yeah. Okay.
And
like no one would know that it's
like a Finsta.
Yeah. Like no one would know it's you, but then you have access to.
Yeah, I know that. A lot of people have told me that, but I don't see much. I think it's the same thing. I would then just get back into it with my personal account. I feel that would be like a gateway drug that I would do, and then I'd be back on it. I'd be doing the crack at the end of the day, and then I don't want to get into it through that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
When people, for example, they want to learn with you, and they can't do it physically. Like they can't come to the gym, they can't come to Delhi, Gurgaon, but they want to learn under you, with you, but they stay far. अभी आप यूज नहीं कर रहे हो WhatsApp, ये कर रहे हो वो कर रहे हो. So have you ever done that? Like कोई दूर है, आप उनके साथ काम कर रहे हो और या नहीं कर रहे हो, but future में आप करने वाले हो?
I have, and most of the time, it would just be teaching them how to teach themselves.
Okay.
Because I feel the biggest flaw that martial artists go through, or at least martial artists with limited resources go through, is the inability to know how to learn. Now, when I say that, I mean, like I've had the good fortune of having many students over the years, and I feel the biggest thing that I've been able to impart to them is the ability to teach themselves.
Right.
Once you can teach yourself, you're set.
Yeah.
You don't need anything.
Like COVID में ठीक है, when everyone was at home, we had to do that, right? But now it's back, and then like, do you plan to expand, like actively teach someone, or are you open to the fact that if someone wants to learn full time under you every day, every single day, they want to know your take your personal guidance, they can do that, or it's
no?
I mean,
no. It's
you would rather prefer them to?
Yeah, I don't want to do that, honestly. I don't want to work with somebody who is not physically present with me. I feel that would be a watered down way of teaching them or working with them, and in a way it would be taking advantage of actually being able to teach. It's just I would just be doing it for the money, maybe. I don't want to do that, and it's not something I'd be very comfortable doing.
But then you have been an advocate for, I've seen where you have told people to go learn on the internet.
I am completely self-taught off the internet. I got from white to black belt through John Danaher and other resources. I mean, I'd say 80%.
Still, that's a huge amount.
It's a majority amount, right? It's a majority percentage.
And is that why you took 7 years as a white belt, or?
No, I had no coach.
Okay.
So I met Mike Morrell. He's a black belt under Half Gracie. I met him about 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
While we went to train with Kurt Osiander.
Okay.
Who is a very eccentric black belt, also under Half Gracie.
Okay.
And And we met Mike in the morning. He was taking the morning Nogi class. And since then, I've not had to worry about any of that. About being graded, even though I wasn't really worried about it, but it's a thought that creeps up in the back of your mind.
You have gone from, like you said, because people give so many reasons for not to do good, or I can't do this because it's online. But then the fact that you have managed to do most of it.
Yeah.
But so you used to watch it and then apply it in the gym?
I watch it, I write it down, I transcribe it completely, entirely, and then I would teach it.
Okay.
I would drill it myself. So I would drill everything myself. And then I'd keep what's useful and discard what's useless.
Okay.
And like Bruce Lee says, and the useful stuff really stuck on. And over the years, then you can adapt, modify, and make it subjective to people's games, and it becomes very practical.
Right. But what about new moves? Like you have seen that move, so you keep on trying till you perfect it on other people. So
in Jiu Jitsu at least, or MMA at least, how it works is you drill the movement, and then you try to apply it to a specific position. So then you would start in a specific position, and then if it works for you, so like something that I have learned could work for me, but it couldn't work for somebody else, maybe because of their physical abilities or just their timing. And if it works for me, I keep it. And if it works for the other guy, he keeps it. If it doesn't work for me, he discards it.
Right.
This is one move. So you have subsets of subsystems, which is, it's endless. And it brings me to the point of how Jiu Jitsu, MMA, even Muay Thai to some extent, they're very young martial arts. And there are new things coming out every day.
You've said in many podcasts your journey.
Right.
But you were in sports management.
I was,
right?
yes.
What was that key moment where you decided like you want to enter, or you were always an athlete before, you were doing other form of martial arts maybe, or some other sports? So what was that moment that you decided to start BJJ?
So I did BJJ before I got into sports management, but I was a student. I was a student for maybe 6 months before I started teaching. This was 2012. And once I started teaching is when I started working in sports management. So I would go on freelance gigs. So I'd work with ISL for 3 months, and then maybe IPL for 3 months, and then Pro Kabaddi League, which is my favorite, for 3 months. And I would come back into town, train, leave again, and then one day, Warriors Cove had 2 partners at that point in time. It was Jahangir Raza, it was Rajiv Berry. And Rajiv Berry was shifting to New Zealand, and he wanted somebody to buy him out.
Okay.
And because I was teaching, he asked me if I wanted to take over.
He offered you that.
And the door was open, and since then, I haven't looked back. Maybe I should have looked back.
It's been 13 years now. Almost.
This is the 13th, yeah.
What made you decide to pick BJJ as maybe the first time you decided to start doing it? Because that's a very important thing for a lot of people.
Jiu-Jitsu, I like the cognitive aspect of it that went into, literally just training, into sparring, into rolling, and how it is a thinking man's game. And brute force sometimes will actually work very well, but brute force with some thinking works even better. It does. You see these meatheads coming into Jiu-Jitsu now that have 3 years of training, but they have a wrestling background, and they just kill it because they're strong.
Yeah.
So brute force takes them very, very far. And if you teach them a little bit, you teach them how to defend themselves and not get submitted, they're winning ADCC medals, they're winning the big tournaments. I like the fact that it was a thinking man's game. And I really appreciated it how a small man or just a thinking man could overpower somebody who was just...
You did your research before picking BJJ?
Yeah, I used to watch a lot of Bellator. I used to watch a lot of MMA back in the day.
Okay.
I would Google it. I would Google the moves, and then I would practice them on my friends. And and then a gym opened, Warriors Cove opened, and then it said they were teaching Jiu-Jitsu, and I went and tried it out.
And you loved it?
And I was obsessed from day one. Even though I couldn't get the smell of other people, I showered 3-4 times after my first session. I couldn't get the smell of this one training partner I had off me. It's bad. But I was still obsessed with it.
But that did not stop you from...
Yeah, it didn't. I wish it had. It's a painful journey. It's not been an easy one, but yeah, haven't looked back.
Looking back, would you still do it all over again?
Yeah, for sure. Through the injuries, through the upsets, through everything. There have been more highs than lows, and I'm just grateful that I've been able to do it for so long, and every year I can do it is just an added bonus.
And it's also given you a proper, I wouldn't say proper, but it's given you a career, a full-time career.
Right.
Because you were in sports management. You were also doing what you loved, like you said, ISL, the Kabaddi League, but then maybe you had your reasons and then you opted to make this rather than sports management as a full-time thing.
For sure, I could see myself aging badly in that kind of a business because I'd be sitting behind a desk sometimes, and sometimes I'd just be eating nonsense all day.
Yeah.
Not getting enough physical exercise. So I would see myself, in terms of the long run, it wouldn't be great.
Okay.
But while I was doing it, those short gigs while these tournaments were on was great fun. But with Jiu-Jitsu, I just felt I was able to impart more and learn more and just go a long way with it.
But
the future was more bright.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because like the day you transitioned from sports management to BJJ and you had your own gym now and you
MMA now.
Teaching everything.
Full time.
But at that time, did you have doubts like, can BJJ or MMA having that gym make a proper career in India?
Yeah. Even like today, it's BJJ, it was Muay Thai, it was everything. So when I started, I was doing everything.
Yeah.
For the first 6-8 years, even till like last year, I was doing everything. Personally, I got into just grappling, but I still teach and train everything.
Okay.
I do have doubts. Even today, I have doubts whether it'll be.
I'm asking because you guys are growing.
Yeah.
You're expanding. You're putting new centers. New athletes are coming in, and who are there are winning internationally. You went to the UFC. A lot of things.
Not yet. We went to the road to UFC.
Yeah, the road to the UFC. Yes.
Hopefully, by the end of next year, we'll have at least one athlete in the UFC.
Okay.
Because we have some potential in the room. And that's my goal. That's what keeps me going. Yeah. Who would have thought, you have access to the UFC. If you had told me when I was starting out that you'd be a coach to some fighters made in India entirely, trained in India, every day worked in India, who then made it to the UFC, that's unbelievable.
That goal is very close now, like more than ever.
Yeah.
Having an 100% Indian fighter, like trained in India, born in India, brought up in India, fighting in the UFC, and winning it.
Yeah.
Winning the first.
Yeah, that's something you only dream of.
Yeah.
And it's something that anybody who's getting started in MMA today, I mean, it's just so much easier for them now.
Yeah, but what is the obsession with Indians and UFC? Of course, it's a lucrative thing and you've seen it there. But there are other organizations also. Why do you think Indians are so obsessed with the UFC?
It's the gold standard.
Okay. Bellator.
Does Bellator exist anymore? It's a monopoly, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Although now there are promotions which are trying to catch up, nothing comes close, dog. Nothing. It's like WWE with pro wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Sure, you have smaller shows now that are popping up, but nothing compares. And the best of the best do not do well in the UFC. The best fighters you can think of, they don't do well in the UFC. So it really is the gold standard of fighting. And why Indians are obsessed with fighting, or why we as a human race are obsessed with fighting, nobody knows. A fight could break out in this room right now and you and I'd watch it and forget about this podcast.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why the obsession.
Because everyone I meet, the athletes, they're like, UFC jana hai.
Yeah, UFC
jana hai.
Yeah.
In fact, they join gyms asking the coaches, aap mujhe UFC pahuncha sakte ho kya? I'm sure you must have got that a lot.
A lot of people don't know the difference between the UFC and MMA. So, like Casio is associated with keyboards.
Yeah.
The UFC is already associated with MMA. So, people don't know the difference between mixed martial arts and the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Right.
And I think a lot of it is because of that. And that's a great thing. If you're going to build a brand that can do that, that's amazing. That's wild.
But do you think something like that happening in India soon? I mean, there are many organizations, there are many tournaments happening in India on a bigger scale than before.
100%.
Do you feel like, we will have something, or UFC might happen in India anytime? Not anytime soon, but maybe someday.
I mean, the way they're expanding, why not?
Yeah.
We have to have fighters in the UFC before that.
Okay.
And then I think it'll become more of a reality. Because even like the big champs right now, they're not even going to their homes. They're not going to their hometowns. They're not going to their countries. It takes time. I think for an operation like the UFC, which is the gold standard of running events and running operations for an event, I think it'll take time for them to shift base to a country like India or anywhere for that matter.
Right.
Each country has their own set of rules which you have to go through.
A lot of fighters are also fighting in one
Correct, yeah.
And a lot of Indian fighters, and they're winning and doing great.
100%.
Any chances that happening in India?
I mean, I don't see why not, but I think the thing with one is they've done a very good job of establishing Singapore as their base.
Right.
And their whole ecosystem runs itself in Singapore. So for them to actually shift out of Singapore or maybe Thailand would be very hard.
Okay.
And that's why they haven't. As a business, it just works.
So like when someone comes to you and the first line is, "मुझे UFC जाना है," what would you tell them? Like,
जाओ.
ना आपके साथ सीख के जाना.
Training करो. I mean, the biggest thing for me as a coach is people showing up to training. So my biggest pet peeve is people who have glorious ambitions but they never show up to training.
Right.
It's great to have ambition. It keeps you going. But discipline is more important. So discipline over motivation any day. You have these guys who get motivated once in 2 weeks and then show up to training and then like, okay, I'm the best, I'm going to be the best.
Yeah.
And then they're done. And then, but you have the guys who hate the game, who show up every day, who hate it. They just hate it. Those guys will maul the guys who have motivation from time to time.
Over everything else.
Consistency and discipline over everything else. Discipline, I would say, is the biggest thing you can take into becoming a champ.
It's a mental game, right? I mean,
Isn't everything?
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, it's like coming in, if you are losing, if you're on a losing streak,
yes.
or maybe you are just starting and you see other killers in your gym,
Right.
and you will be like, I might take a couple of more years. So for that 2 years, you need to have that.
The early years.
Yeah, you need to be mentally so strong that you need to know that it will take time.
Yeah.
It will come. But a lot of what I see are, I mean, that's my personal experience. They have started well, but then they have just faded away.
Yes.
And but a lot of, like you said, you have had people who are there with you since last almost half a decade now.
Yeah.
And
longer.
Yeah, longer. And I mean, so it's a mental game, like, you know.
It is 100% a mental game because honestly, you're just taking a beating for the first few years.
Right.
And you're showing up every day and just getting hammered. Everything hurts.
Yeah.
Waking up sometime is hard. I mean, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
But again, you start to see progress. You start to recognize progress. The guys who can recognize that progress and see they're getting better and trust it, they hang in there forever. The guys who don't, they wither away very quickly.
Like what advice would you give someone who's just starting and who wants to make a proper professional career in BJJ or MMA? And
the advice I'd give them is don't be in a rush.
Okay.
You'll get there. Show up every day, no matter how you feel. If you're injured, show up to watch. If you're sick, don't show up. You get other people sick. But if you're not really that sick, put a mask on and go stand at a distance and watch.
Yeah.
Don't shake hands with anyone. Don't touch anything. And go home. Showing up every day is the most important thing. If there's training on, you have to be in the room. That's the most important advice I would give people. Make notes. Study on your own time. Get obsessed with the game. Because there are people there who will be more obsessed than you are. So keeping up with those people is what you should strive for. And the only way you're going to keep up with even the people in your room is by showing up every day. So we had a point of time where our room was, just the training partners in the room was so good and they were so competitive with each other that if let's say Sean and Aman, okay, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Students of mine. Sean and Aman are, let's say they're on the same level, okay? If Sean falls sick and doesn't show up to training for 4 days, Aman's going to kick his ass when he comes back, right? That's how close the training is, okay? His timing is off. Maybe this guy's learned more stuff. Maybe this guy feels stronger. Maybe his conditioning is better. This guy's not as good as he was. That's how good the room was.
Right.
So the biggest advice or takeaway I could give people is just to train. Just shut up and train. Don't whine. Forget the Instagram. Forget your phone. For those 2 hours that you're there, focus on the work and you'll get better.
Because what I see is people win just one match.
Yeah.
Maybe a state level match or a national match in MMA.
Yeah.
And then they post so much on Instagram.
I wouldn't know how much they post, but I can imagine it's shit show.
Like you said, you need to be, even if you win your first match, you need to be in, like, that's something which you mentioned, that you need to have put in fighting hours. You need to, maybe, do you feel we need to put more, like they need to participate in more tournaments?
With MMA?
Yeah.
I feel that I don't like tournaments for MMA because it leads to a lot of Well, they make you cut weight on every day of the tournament, which destroys your body, your organs. More than that, you're taking a lot of brain hits in tournaments. So like over 4 days, you get into 4 different fights. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So I feel even in people's amateur careers, I like them to avoid tournaments, at least with my athletes. Do one-off matches here and there, build a nice record, fight some tough opponents, and then turn pro.
Okay.
So that's what I prefer.
Also, like for example, if a athlete is very disciplined, he is willing to give you that time and energy and focus and everything. But कभी-कभार क्या होता है कि ना उनके parents are a little apprehensive.
Yeah.
Because मार लगेगा, ये होगा. So do parents also come up to you when someone is joining the gym, and if they come up to you, how do you allay their fears and
I don't. It's not my job to.
But do parents come up to you?
It's not my job to be untruthful to them. They do come. Parents do come up. If a parent shows up and the student wants me to lie to them, say everything's going to be okay, I don't.
Okay.
Because everything is not going to be okay. You're going to get into a cage to fight somebody else. Chances are things might not go your way that day. Things could go wrong.
Right.
This is not something that I want you to go into. But if you're really good and you're disciplined, and I'll tell them that you have potential and you could be very, very good. But am I going to tell them that nothing's going to happen? No. Things will happen.
Yeah. Because that's another thing which I mean, when I go to different tournaments, is parents coming in with them. But when I boli thi na, like
oh God,
like if the person is lost of cut ho gaya, daant thoda maar lag gaya.
That's the last thing you want to hear if you've lost.
As a fighter, like it defeats you because we don't see that fact that fighters are fighting another personal battle at home also.
100%.
A lot of them. So sometimes the coaches, the mentors also become family for them.
Yeah.
They come from far. A lot of Northeast guys are coming to your gym.
Not just Northeast. We have from everywhere.
Yeah, like I said, from South India, from Bombay coming to your gym. So you become a family away from their own family.
Right.
And it adds little extra burden. You may not like it, but it's something which you have to accept maybe as a coach.
It is.
So how do you deal with that? Because that's something which you have learned, right?
So when it comes to something like that, as a coach, and just being brutally honest, I have to detach myself from that.
Okay.
If I start getting emotionally involved with them winning or losing, I'm not going to make it very far as a coach. If they win, they win. If they lose, they lose. I try and have the same reaction whether they win or they lose. Sure, if they lose, I'm not going to coach them as they've lost. I'm going to coach them much later, saying like, okay, you could have done this better, this better. If they win, I'm going to critique them on the spot. Like right after they win, I'm going to tell them, listen, this is where you messed up.
Yeah.
This is what you should have done differently.
Yeah.
And like, there's so many things you could have done differently and it would have been better. But if they lose, I mean, I'm not going to show up and like, kya yaar?
Yeah, but still, like sometimes, of course, it's your job to be very neutral and very hard. But you like
not always hard. Yeah, it depends. Detached is the word I'd use.
Okay.
Because for you to be doing this for a long time, you have to be detached. You can't get attached to them, their wins or their losses. If tomorrow they have a massive win and I go out and let's go, I mean, for next day back to training, kya bol logo?
Right.
वो हार गए if I get upset for pretty 5 weeks and don't show up to teach them or
because I think I've seen that few tournaments में most of the fighters win.
Yeah.
But ऐसा एक tournament हुआ एक दो हुए थे जिसमें one has lost, rest all have won.
Yeah.
So like you said, if you go and celebrate the person who has lost feels, I don't know.
I mean, if we look at the recent past with Warriors Cove, we've had some big wins and we've had some losses as well.
Yeah.
Right? Personally, the losses hurt. And I try to think about the losses longer than I think about the wins. That's just me as a person because I feel that I could have done something differently or our coaching staff could have done something differently or the fighter could have done something differently. So that's what weighs on my mind.
Yeah, like how do you cope up with it? Like how do you deal with losses?
Well, you mourn for a little bit and then you get over it.
Yeah.
2-3 days max and then you move on very quickly. You make sure they're okay, they show up to training again and then that's it, it's done. move on. With the wins, even quicker. Okay, tonight, I'm going to celebrate you. Great, congratulations. If you're not in training next week, don't come back. I don't care who you are. Yeah, biggest name in the country. Oh, get lost. Show up to training or don't show up again.
Do you have any plans to participate
in MMA? So I've had 2 really bad concussions.
In MMA?
No, so like just sparring in Muay Thai. And one was so bad that I couldn't remember where I parked my car or why I was in the gym. After that, I felt like if I risk any kind of brain injury, I'm just reducing my ability to make a living or just live in general. My quality of life is going to go to shit.
Right.
So, no, not me. With grappling, yes. Again, I've been delayed over and over again because of injuries. I currently have a torn labrum in my left shoulder.
Like, do you have any match in the...
I'm trying to compete. Like, I was supposed to travel to the States to California, my coach, Mike, and he's going to jump into a bunch of tournaments there to start with. Get me back into the competition area, and then, 100%. Got a few years left.
Because that's something which, like I said, you have become a coach now, but
I've had to become a coach forever. Otherwise, I wouldn't make money. I'm not saying that coaching MMA fighters makes me bank, but just running the gym in general is where my...
So, like, as a successful gym owner now, and...
Not that successful yet.
Okay, relatively successful.
Sure, I'll take that.
With couple of gyms now to your
sir.
Backing, what advice would you give new gym owners?
Yeah.
And who plan to start maybe a MMA or a grappling gym, and to also someone who owns a gym and wants to expand, and so any advice for them would also be appreciated.
That's a great question. The number one advice that I'd give gym owners, or you want coaches? I feel this answer translates to a bit of both, because
gym owners are coaches and coaches.
Yeah. Some hopefully.
Yeah.
If things are going well.
Yeah.
I would say focus on the people that are in the room.
Okay.
A lot of people tend to worry about why people are not coming to the gym, where they've been, what's happening, and that strays away from the people who are actually in front of you.
Right.
I'd say spend more time worrying about the guys who are in the room and keep them there than worrying about why the people who were there earlier have not come back again.
Right.
And I feel that makes a big difference in your longevity, in why people stick around and why you have members for years. So that, I think, would be the answer that would summarize staying in the game long enough.
And any advice for new gym owners? I mean, is it like what should be the things they should take care of first before putting up a gym, or if they're planning to put, they need to have these set of skills, equipments, core philosophies, or something like that,
I feel as somebody who's just going to be opening a gym, I feel it should be very exciting for you. So I would construct a place that you love to go into every day.
Okay.
So be selfish in that manner, where you create an environment which you want to be in on a daily basis. If you can do that, you can walk into that place every day and be happy and teach. If you create a place that is being designed for somebody else, then it'll stay that way. And you won't want to visit that place every day, and then it's not sustainable in the long run. But if you create a place that is your own, entirely your own, you got your own stuff everywhere, you'll be fine.
But if you're if you're an owner, but you're not the coach, would the advice change then? Like you're hiring other coaches to work in a gym.
No, I think it'd be the same.
Okay.
As long as you can go in every day and problem solve.
I mean, recently there's a need to make everything inclusive. And,
for sure.
I mean, earlier the gyms, when you go to any gym, there were less of children.
Yes.
There were less of females.
Less women.
But now when you go, there are more females now. Especially when I come to your gym.
Yes, sir. The kids program.
The child at least have increased. So that's something for a gym owner who's starting right now. I think they have to put in more efforts and include that aspect too.
I think teaching children is the hardest thing you could possibly do.
Okay.
One is because it's very, very hard to be a coach or find a coach that can match the energy of a child.
Okay.
Relentless. Like they don't get tired. So teaching a child and keeping their attention for a long period of time is very hard. So the main thing with teaching kids is they should have fun. So again, it comes down to the environment you're creating. If the child is not going to have fun, he or she is not going to stay there for a long time. So
they have to make it fun.
It has to be fun, yeah. That's the biggest takeaway.
Like sometimes we tell adults it's ulta. It's boring, but this is what
not always, do. Even with adults. Yeah,
but sometimes we say, do it even if it's boring.
Sure.
But for a kid, you can't say that.
You cannot do that to a child. They have to have fun. Yeah. If they're coming in, वो स्कूल गया बच्चा उसके पहले, ठीक है, वो ज़बरदस्ती उसने खाना खाया, उसने दूध पिया है, अब आप इसको और डिसिप्लिन करा रहे हो दिन में, कैसे होगा? They won't do it after a while. But if they're coming in, they're socializing, they're having fun, they will stick around for a long time.
How do you make it fun?
There are games that you can do that develop their everything, like cognitive abilities, their strength, their balance, everything.
Like, do you call in a specialist who might help you out with developing new?
So this is an area where my coach Mike, the biggest thing the learnings I could take away from Mike is his kids program is insane. So Mike in one day has like 75 kids walking through the door. Okay, which is
in a day.
In one day, which is good numbers for one gym, right? It's insane.
That's like running a school.
You're running a school.
Yeah.
That's why Mike keeps falling sick all the time, because he's just kids. Kids, their hygiene is amazing. Yeah. So if you're around them, they're always sneezing. He's always falling sick. So Mike falls sick once in a fortnight, which is unbelievable. But yeah, the biggest learnings have come from Mike, and I picked up whatever I can from him and imparted it to the teachers who teach the kids program at my gym.
Also, like I said, you need to make it more like sometimes when women are deciding which gym to go to, which new gym, they need to see that it's safe.
The biggest thing is more women being in that gym, I would say.
Okay.
So women trust that when they walk into a gym and they see other women in there, then they'll stay. Okay. Because then they can work with them, then they're comfortable, they're like, okay, these guys are selected this, there must be a reason they're here. Yeah. And then it works.
There are a lot of times where people are like not single owners. They are working with multiple partners or two partners of two. How important is the role of having a good partner? And maybe because for you have Mohit,
I have Mohit and I have Jahangir. Mohit and I have had no problems. Touch wood. We've worked very, very well over the years, and he's honestly the most, like, you tell Mohit something has to be done, or it happens like that. There's no questions, like things will get done. Mohit works like effortlessly, and not always, he wasn't always this efficient, but working with Mohit now is a breeze, and like he's my number one ally, and it's just efficient, super efficient, so it's easy.
That's why you have managed to, you can travel, you can expand, and you can think of doing more things apart.
And so can he, right?
Yeah, exactly.
With Jahangir and I have had a...
Like whenever we have Mohit, we'll ask him about you.
Yeah, you should, maybe. Yeah, I mean, if he's here in Bombay, you should definitely have him on. He was here he had his knee surgery here a couple of months ago. And I don't think that was not the right time. Maybe. He's just waking up from anesthesia. Sit, don't worry. I'll give you coffee. Come. I'll give you coffee. Sit down quietly. Stay awake. We'll talk. No. But hopefully he comes and you can ask him the same question. With Jahangir and I have had ups and downs, but we made it through, man. And it's been hard. But now things are... effortless.
It's like a relationship. You have ups and downs.
100%. Pick wisely.
Yeah.
The only advice I could give people if they get into business with other people is take your time in picking a partner.
Right.
Because, I mean, they can be your best friend and it can be your worst nightmare, and your whole day will be affected by it.
It's like picking a wife or a husband.
100%. It's a partner in business though.
Yeah.
Right? So just take your time with the process and think about it.
You need to be transparent and truthful from day one. Where do you want to go? What's your goals and motivations and your philosophies? And if everyone's, at least the basic things match, I mean, that's more than enough.
I'm going to handle this. You're going to handle this.
Yeah.
I will never handle this ever. Are you okay with it?
Yeah.
You okay with it? Okay, we'll do well.
One thing
and vice versa.
Yeah. One thing which you feel like, you can be better as a partner.
Yeah.
And one thing which you feel like they can be better. Not a criticism, but something
it's a great
which
question.
will help you guys
As a partner, what I could do to be... It's a very good question. I never thought about it. But I feel...
Fight more?
No, I feel hearing them out more.
Okay.
So, at least in the early years, the problem was that I wanted my way. Only my way. We're going to do it this way, this way. No other way works.
Yeah.
I feel over the years, I've started listening and I've tried to improve that bit where I'm listening to what my business partner wants and what they want to work on, and I manage it. It manage the expectations, manage mine, and I just manage my expectations based on what they want also.
Yeah.
And think about what they want also, and it's not just about me.
So listening more to them.
100%.
And one thing which you feel, they can
Well, at the moment I'm blessed. I don't have that problem.
Okay.
In the past I did where I feel not enough work would get done, but now that's not a problem at all. And the partners I have, things are going very well, touch wood.
Yeah.
But again, things can change at any time.
Yeah.
So enjoy them while they last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And any plans to expand
In Bombay?
Bombay?
You tell me, you run it.
I mean,
any plans of you coming to Delhi?
I mean,
Gurgaon?
You have, you can have a sea-facing gym. Imagine Juhu also, you're grappling and the sea everywhere.
In general, I felt that cities that have extremes of temperature and don't have all these luxuries, the athletes do better in those cities. You give these guys R&R on the weekends and then getting them back into the mindset of training by Monday is a problem sometimes.
Yeah.
So for professional athletes, maybe not, but for the regular, everyday gym goer, this is a great place. But again, it's so expensive, man, the city. How do you do this? It's unbelievably, the real estate is ridiculous.
But you can charge accordingly also. I mean, it'll work.
That's what everybody tells me. But that's a scale that I'm not ready to combat yet. I'm not there yet. Eventually, probably I will. But again, scaling to Bombay is another level.
Yeah.
It's like opening a gym out of the country.
Yeah, maybe. But I feel you should because you'll do good. Because, I mean, what you guys are doing in Delhi,
I appreciate that.
Replicate that. And
what about you? I mean, so I had a question. So this place is called Chlorophyll.
Yeah.
Chlorophyll is green, right?
Yeah.
Or is the green pigment?
Yeah. So it's how the photosynthesis and everything happens.
Hanji. Yeah. So why chlorophyll?
Honestly, that's basically my dad's company.
Oh.
So
Did you ever ask him why?
It's like breathe color into your life.
Okay.
That's his tagline.
I'm colorblind as hell, by the way. I'm red green colorblind. It's bad.
Yeah. So that's his tagline, which I think suits you.
That's nice.
Yeah. So it's like you need to give color to life, and
fair enough.
His vision is to give medical services the right way.
Was he a doctor as well?
Yeah,
Is he a doctor as well?
He's a chest physician.
Oh, no way.
He does all these things.
Yeah.
And which is passed to me. So, and I loved Chlorophyll, the name. So Chlorophyll Dentistry. So they were trying to expand it also.
To what?
And in Bombay.
Was it just more facilities?
More facilities. Make it more approachable to people.
Right.
We're expanding to the tier 2, tier 3 cities.
Yeah.
Wherein they don't have to come to Bombay, Pune for medical services.
Yeah.
Dental services.
I know because you keep traveling. Yeah.
We'll get the good services to you.
Right.
So you get good world-class facilities in those towns and villages.
Right.
Expanded to 3 towns now.
Which are?
So that's one is my hometown, Mahan.
I remember you telling me.
Yeah, one is New Bombay, one is Bombay, which we're doing the podcast.
How difficult is that? I mean, traveling to these places and...
It is because the thing is, when you go to different villages, different towns, every place has a different mentality.
Yeah.
Bombay has a different mentality.
What's the approach to dental hygiene or oral hygiene in Maharashtra?
So it's pretty...
In the rural areas?
Yeah, it's pretty bad but it's become very aspirational. So
after you educate them or before?
After.
Yeah.
By that I mean is they are more acceptable to getting... So they prefer aesthetics over function.
Understood. Sometimes they don't know the difference.
If you give them teeth which look like
White
a Bollywood
teeth.
actor,
White teeth.
they would prefer that rather than having good teeth where they can chew with.
Okay. Functionality is not a priority for them.
In Bombay, of course, aesthetic is there,
Yeah.
but they want to make it functional first.
Right.
And then I'll give you money for aesthetics.
Like the faces of...
Like I've had patients in my hometown coming in and saying that I want teeth like this.
Okay.
Which has never happened.
That's wild.
Yeah,
it's like a haircut.
Yeah, which has never happened.
और आप दे देते हैं. You can do it also.
And come to think about it, the dental chair looks like a...
So ethically, do you question it?
No, we tell them we can't. Like, you know, we can. Technically, we can.
We won't.
Yeah, but we won't because...
That's not what we do.
Yeah, you have a unique set of teeth. We'll improve on that.
Sure.
But some people are very adaptable.
But your goal is to give them functionality and their goal is to
Both.
just be... So aesthetic is also a thing that you care for.
So that's what I specialize in, aesthetics.
Yeah.
But we need to make them functional.
Yeah.
They can eat if they can eat properly, they get good nutrition. They're free from diseases.
Yeah.
And once that
happens
and they know the touch, the chlorophyll, like I said, the chlorophyll touch.
Yeah.
I don't like the word, but
okay, sure.
Then you give them aesthetics. So different challenges for different places, different mentalities.
Yeah.
But like you said, if you love what you do, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's
not always fun.
You get pissed off.
You get jaded very quickly.
Yeah. But like I said, you are changing people's perception about dentistry, about healthcare.
Yeah,
because right now, what the perception is that doctors are out there to loot you, which is maybe right to an extent. But that happens in martial arts too. Like
100%.
Yeah. So
it's in every
field.
business.
So I feel like what I or you can do is be a good representation of your own field and give them an option.
And I've seen you do that with even just like the mouth guards that you make for our guys.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of them are just sponsored by you guys, which is amazing.
Yeah,
and they're not cheap to make, so I know that.
Right, and we didn't want to make this for the sake of it. We try to, and like I said, the recent ones are little better ones because they're the newer generations.
What is so different between, let's say, so I have from your first one, the Motawala, to what you built now? I mean, just the difference in the finish is amazing.
So
I carry it with me everywhere. By the way.
Honestly, it's just us doing a better job at it.
So you just become more efficient with the process.
Exactly. So
it's not the material.
The material has improved.
Right.
It's become more thicker by 0.5 mm.
Okay.
But it's become more lighter.
Sure.
The raw material.
Yeah.
But the way we finish everything.
It's just more efficient.
Like you said, the more hours you put in,
it gets easier.
You get better at it.
For sure.
And I think we still have a few more months to go before we perfect it. And
okay, so you're close.
We're close.
It's pretty perfect, the mouth guards you said.
Because that's the limit you can make a mouth guard that well.
और क्या करने वाला उस पे?
उसके अलावा अपने उसके अलावा
3D
नहीं rugby में आ गया है sensors. So like how you using a whoop.
Yeah.
There are sensors in your mouth guards, and so you get a hit. It's exactly like a whoop cap. It is insane.
I don't believe you.
It's being tested already in rugby
that is
Australia and New Zealand. It's not come to Asia yet, I think, but India में तो नहीं है बिल्कुल.
This is for CTE and concussions and everything.
Every blow का कितने velocity से आया था, क्या Newton पे मार लगा है, and then that you can track it like a whoop का thing, and then you can, of course, your neurosurgeon can predict like if this person is okay. Like,
that's
it's insane.
This is the first time I'm hearing about this, and that is going to change the game forever.
It's already available commercially, I think, in New Zealand and Australia.
Who owns the patent?
I have not done that, but because the rugby players are wearing it right now.
Yeah, I mean they need it the most.
But that's the next step for mouth guards.
Oh, that's
making
amazing.
a smart, like we had the watch, we had the
smart
watch.
I've been wearing Whoop for a while.
Yeah. That's one thing which because I saw your podcast since 2019 ka.
Yeah.
Usme you're wearing the Whoop.
The 3.0. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been almost 5 years now.
Yes. I've been obsessed with. I geek out on like these new gadgets that come in, especially to like wearables.
Yeah.
I had a Fitbit and all that nonsense back in the day, but nothing really stuck like the Whoop
why
has.
Whoop? Why not an Apple Watch?
I'll tell you why Whoop. Because Whoop is the leading wearable in the market in terms of their technology. Most accurate.
The strain aspect. No.
The HRV aspect, the heart rate variability aspect, the resting heart rate, the calories, the breathing rate, everything.
Yesterday,
it's a gold standard.
Do you know that? They put it on a new update.
Steps.
You can steps.
Yeah.
You can count steps.
Steps the new beta testing steps.
So yesterday they did give an update.
So I mean, it's the leading wearable, and also it's the most comfortable. I would say. At least I've tried the Oura Ring.
And I think fits with your whole no social media thing because there's no screen. There's no screen.
Yeah, it works perfectly, right?
Yeah. So No distractions.
But I keep checking Whoop like I would Instagram.
Yeah.
Kya ho raha hai? What's happening with me?
But do you feel it reflects exactly to how you feel?
Yeah, I do. Even if I don't, it makes me. You know. But no, not always. Some days you sleep well and it'll tell you you're tired. So no, not always. Of course, it has its flaws.
Because I've spoken to few, at least couple of them from our gym itself that day, and they said they can, like, you know, it told them that you're not feeling well, you're gonna fall sick.
Yeah, it happens to me all the time. My skin temperature, it tells me my skin temperature sometimes, and like, listen, hey, your skin temperature is elevated by 0.2%, 0.2 degrees. You're gonna fall sick, and then maybe you take it easy in training, or you take it easy exercising.
And I see a lot of grappling guys wearing the Whoop.
Yeah, so you get bicep bands. You can wear it in your underwear. You can wear it on a sleeve.
Yeah.
You can wear it in your turtleneck here.
Does it help with your, like? So I think it's the most comfortable one with, especially for grapplers, because there's no screen, there's nothing to poke.
No, so you can't wear it unless you cut somebody. So you got to wear it on a arm sleeve
during grappling.
Okay. But it's the thing with Whoop is it's for me. I'm not telling anybody to buy it. I like it just because I'm a fan of the data. Anything
which you still feel there's something missing in the Whoop which can be improved, especially as an athlete. I mean, we'll tag Whoop India for that because they officially have an Indian account and it's on Flipkart right now.
I would feel they could improve on the wearables, which I'm sure they are anyway. When I say like the Whoop body,
more options to attach.
Where to attach it to your body would help 100%.
Where exactly do you want it? On the leg?
Yeah, the leg would be great. Like inside your compression shorts, not on the seam. Seam rolls over, but maybe near the leg. Again, it's really hard. But they are coming out with new stuff, so I don't have to tell them what to do. But it's amazing. I mean, it tells you when you're about to fall sick, tells you when you're about, like, just to take it easy. And if you don't listen to it, you will fall sick.
I wanted to ask you about that. Like, how do you track your progress as a MMA fighter or a BJJ?
As a BJJ,
of course, your coach is there to tell you.
Sure.
But personally, if I want to track it.
My coach is not there. Personally, my coach is...
But you have Whoop with you.
Yeah, I got Whoop telling me.
There are people out there.
Take it easy.
How would you track it? I mean, should they get blood tests every few months?
You tell me, Doc. What do you feel is like for... You tell me. You know more than I do in terms of just general maintenance. And
I would say an oral health is a good indicator of...
Is it? So how would you say oral health translates to the rest of your physical health?
So I'll tell you something. Like when you spar, if you look at the muscles, your hands and legs, they're always red. What I've seen, like, you know, they get after sparring.
Yeah.
What about their gums?
Inflamed.
Yeah, they're always inflamed. Mm-hmm. So I feel like, you know, as athletes, you need to take care of your teeth and gums more. Especially, I would say not in athletes more, because they have a tendency of having more. Their teeth are paining, the gums are paining, but they don't want to show it off, or they feel like, "Arey, kuch nahi, to daant hi dukh raha hai, gum hi dukh raha hai."
Yeah.
Not a lot in Bombay athlete, but
really?
not that athletes I've seen is they are more accepting of the fact that they are painful, and they feel like it's not an ego thing, but they feel like... It's an award,
it's a good... I mean, so...
Yeah, daant hi to so what I tell them is, agar aapke daant dukhenge aur, so you'll have to go to the dentist, right?
It's going to be worse.
Worse, and you'll have to pay more.
It's the biggest fear for a lot of people.
God forbid, tournament ke 2 दिन पहले दुखने लगा.
Gaya.
And if you're... अब पता नहीं सब वाड़ा के अंदर आता है कि नहीं, regulations, but then...
You can't take anti-inflammatories, nothing.
So then it classified as doping then.
Yeah.
What we do is 3 months before any tournaments, we do dental checkups.
Right.
We at least basic cleaning कराएंगे ना, तो कचरा निकल जाता है. Calculus, plaque, inflammation goes down. In fact, when inflammation goes down, it actually is directly connected with your heart and your diabetes.
Everything.
2 things. Heart disease and diabetes directly connected with your plaque in your mouth. So when you have a healthy mouth, you have a healthy body. Athletes, खाने पे खर्चा है, जिम में खर्चा है, सब पे खर्चा है.
कहाँ खर्चा नहीं है?
Oral health पे इसलिए नहीं, because I feel 32 दांत हैं ना अपने. So we take it for granted. Like imagine आपके 2 आँख है, 2 में से 1 आँख भी कुछ करिए, you'll go to an ophthalmologist.
Yeah.
But अगर 2 हो,
abundance, you got abundance of those.
अगर आपके सिर्फ 2 होते दांत, तो 1 भी होता तो
stress हो जाता है, instantly stress हो जाता है.
Yeah, so I feel, but it's okay. It's natural.
Didn't think of it like that. Yeah.
But I feel if you have good teeth, which fortunately you have, because
I work very hard on my teeth, man.
So like you said,
I have 28. I don't have 32. I got them removed because of my
you're saving
braces.
you're saving tons of money. We tell athletes, you save money, don't come to us.
Yeah.
When you have a major thing, definitely
Show up, yeah.
but
Avoid
few
it.
things, get an electric brush.
Preventative care, yeah.
Exactly, preventive. ओरल हेल्थ केयर करोगे आप खा पाओगे,
Yeah.
अच्छा खा पाओगे, अच्छा न्यूट्रिशन मिलेगा, आप सो पाओगे.
Yeah,
Everything's
I'm a geek with that stuff also. So I'm constantly messaging you with what's the new water flosser
so
out.
that water it's come with USB-C fast charging.
Yeah, that's a game changer.
It's
Even for toothbrushes. I mean, the toothbrushes take forever to charge. It's ridiculous.
yeah. So, but I feel like even gyms should have a tie-up with a
Healthcare brand, something.
yeah, like do at least basic. Just how certain tests होते हैं.
Yeah.
Athletes को करना
Indicators.
चाहिए.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should do it once every 6 months. Like gym owners should tie up with pathology labs. They can do
Just
it
to subsidize costs and
yeah, and
give them more access to it.
like you have the WHOOP. Even blood tests are good indicators that something can go wrong.
For sure.
Cholesterol, LDL, whatever. Like
And in fact, like, you'd be surprised at the amount of people who just have never even got any blood work done.
एंड कैसा होता है ना कि एक साथ फिर बन के कभी आ जाएगा, फिर गॉड फॉरबिड सर्जरी करना पड़ता है,
bad.
Depend, कुछ खराब हो गया, देन योर लाइफ एज एन एथलीट इज
Diminishing is harder, at
it's
least.
over.
Yeah,
If
it might
you
be over
have any
sometimes. Yeah, it could be really bad,
injuries.
yeah.
So I feel like they should take care, and like I said, now we have owners like you.
I've been obsessed with, at least with the, we had nobody when I contacted you for,
Like now you have physio guys, right? Like you
yeah,
have
for
that-
sure, yeah.
You have him.
Yeah, but how many people use for the physio? I mean, they only show up at the physio when they are broken
Right.
and not to prevent the break. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's too late by the time these guys show up. Like, okay, I'm here. I can't move my arm past my eye level. Fix me. It's too late.
So like, what are the common injuries you see in your gym? Like personally.
The majority are, it's neck stuff and knee stuff.
Okay.
And even shoulders up there. But the neck goes with wrestling. The shoulders go with wrestling. The knees go. Wrestling is the biggest, I feel, injury creator there is in any of the martial arts.
But as a gym owner, like that's something that other gym owners can also do. Is tie up
With physiotherapists. And yeah, 100%.
That's something which
It'll keep your guys in the game long.
yeah.
If you can give them preventative care or prehab, they'll be around for way longer
What
than
do you feel?
would.
They appreciate that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think just to have that in the back of your head, like, okay, if something goes wrong, I have somebody who can fix me. Or this guy is going to teach me how to warm up, this guy is going to teach me how to cool down. It makes a big difference. Just the prehab work or working with somebody who is medically trained to make sure you don't get hurt. In the back of your head, it's like a fail-safe.
You guys have had nutritionists before, right?
We have, but I mean, good luck telling a fighter after they fight, listen, another 6 weeks you got to eat clean.
Yeah.
It has to be a lifestyle. It can't be like, okay, camp is starting, ab main theek khaunga. I have to make this weight, that's why. It has to be something that you're doing every day, all the time. If you're not living it, breathing it, there's going to be somebody who will be better than you. So we try to get them to eat right and eat clean, but they're human at the end of the day, and they do falter.
Any things which you feel आप आपके जिम में improve कर सकते हो अभी भी?
सब कुछ.
एक चीज आप जो आपको immediately थोड़ा लगता है कर सकते हो, करना चाहिए.
You're talking about just in general.
Anything which you feel like, if you ask me about my practice, I will tell
Yeah.
you I want a bigger one.
Yeah.
Maybe at this one.
Yeah.
So anything
More
which you-
mat space always helps.
Okay.
In terms of infrastructure, I would say that. In terms of resources, I would say more recovery resources. So we are actually in the process of building a cold tub, a sauna, and a steam and a full recovery area within our Gurgaon branch,
Okay.
which I feel could translate to any other branch that we do open in the future.
Then you can replicate that everywhere.
Everywhere. It becomes your guidelines for
Yeah.
other branches.
You also have a good store, which I feel gets neglected sometimes. Where you sell
Yeah,
personal-
just the basics. I mean, if somebody shows up, they want a pair of gloves, they should have somewhere they can buy those gloves instead of giving them a link, say, idhar se kharido.
No, that's again a good add-on for gym owners, which I feel
100%.
Because I go to a lot of gyms, they don't have those things what you guys have.
One-stop shop always help.
The athlete should not go outside your gym.
Yeah.
This is what we learn in
आपको
dentistry also.
हाँ आपको माउथ पीस चाहिए आपको यहाँ मिलेगा आपको ग्लव्स चाहिए आपको वो भी यहाँ मिलेगा अब मैं मुझे I'm not going to send you to 10 different places and give you homework and then you show up.
So मान लीजिए अगर मैं gym owner, मतलब I'm a new gym owner, I'm just going on that part. What according to you is the acceptable thing? Like ये basic चीजें होना चाहिए. Like जैसे आपने mats की बात की.
And a shower.
No, so कितना at least इतना gym इतना mat होना चाहिए. This is for people.
ज़्यादा नहीं चाहिए. Doc, it depends on how many. If you're a gym owner, at least 500 square feet is enough.
Okay.
And you can do a lot with it.
Okay.
But again, 1,000 and above is minimum if you want to run group classes, and you can get a lot done in that much space. You don't have to be a big place. You just have to be a clean place,
Right.
and then you're fine. So minimum requirement, 500 square feet for 1 or 2 people, and then if you want to make it bigger, you can have more space. But yeah, just mat space is non-negotiable, I would say.
आपके gym में a lot of Indian wrestlers काफी आ गए.
Yeah,
And you had mentioned that having a wrestler background also helps.
it does.
So काफी like India has a history of having a lot of wrestlers, even the recent Olympics. So how does that help into transitioning into MMA or BJJ?
If you look at the most successful MMA athletes ever, they've all been incredible wrestlers.
Yeah.
Okay, if you go from John Jones to Khabib to GSP,
DC, yeah.
DC, put DC in the list. Yeah, sure, DC is in the list, of course, double champ.
Yeah.
Maybe not Conor, but they've all been incredible wrestlers. All right, so I feel wrestling in terms of the physical aspect as well as the mental aspect can give you a big head start in terms of getting into MMA. Physically, these guys can be put through a lot and just take it. Mentally, also same thing. They show up day after day, no matter what situation they're in. They work hard. That hard work is taught to you while you're a wrestler. In terms of Indian wrestlers transitioning to MMA, it's harder because they do mud wrestling, which is a lot different.
Okay.
And it's a lot more freestyle than it is Greco. So freestyle wrestlers also, they have success, but the really good ones in MMA are the Greco-Roman wrestlers. So I would say Greco-Roman wrestling is probably the best base that you can have for MMA, which is rare here. We have a big freestyle base, but Greco is getting there slowly. We'll get there as well.
Okay.
I hope that answers your question. But again, wrestlers are super tough.
Because I see a lot of Haryana ke wrestlers now in your gym.
Ji.
Punjab ke.
Mehenti log hai, sir. That's the thing. They're hard working. They're mentally tough. They're physically tough. And they know how to put in the hours. So it's always a pleasure working with them.
We'll go to our last section is
Sure.
To ask you about your personal goals, your professional goals, where do you want to take Warriors को, that यहाँ तक चला गया तो I'm happy and I'm content, and then उसके बाद we never know कौन क्या जाएगा.
Professional goals, the goal has always been to get athletes into the UFC.
Okay.
If I can do that and have them made in India entirely and represent our country on the highest level, then I would have done what I set out to do on day one. If not me, nobody can be me because I can't take a shot to the head. Then anybody else. So yeah, next best thing would be to have somebody in the UFC.
So that's your personal mission, is to have someone in the UFC.
Yes.
And you being in the corner.
Even if I'm not in the corner, if they've trained with us and we've worked with them and they make it there. It's not about me. It's about having somebody from this country who's entirely trained in this country,
Right.
go there and win on the highest level.
So, but if they entirely train in the country, you will be there, and I hope.
I hope so. I hope I'm there.
So,
I would love to see it in person.
Yeah.
But if I don't, putting India on the map is what I want. That's the
Because that
professional
way
goal.
we'll get to also tag, because we are there on social media. We'll get to use your name and brag on the
100%. No, you get it. I mean, you're everywhere. Our fighters are with the mouthpieces anyway.
No. In the sense, like, we can just say, oh, hey, Ashwin Hoon is there.
No. So the goal is to put India on the map. And it always has been. And there's a lot of infighting between, okay, this gym is the best, that gym is the best. I'm not trying to be the best in terms of like, okay, Warriors Cove is the best, your gym is worse. I don't give a shit about that. All I literally care about is the guys in our room getting better and the guys winning on the highest level, whether it be locally or internationally. I want them to do well globally.
Right.
And I want to put India on the map. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritties of, okay, my gym is better than yours. I don't care about that. Your gym is better than mine. Mine is worse. Warriors Cove is shit. Your gym is better. I don't care. As long as you put somebody there, I'm happy with it. I don't care.
So, do you think realistically it happening in the next 1-2 years?
100%. I'm not going to rest until it does. So,
And if it does, what's next for them? Ashwin Hoon.
keep going as long as I can until the wheels fall off. Like a Toyota Corolla. As long as I can, slowly,
Like having
slowly,
more
slowly,
fighters
slowly.
in the UFC until.
That's the goal. I mean, you get one in and I feel after that, it'll just compound. I feel it taking off.
There's like an Indian in every division.
Yeah, that would be insane, but I don't see us creating a heavyweight. It's very hard.
Yeah.
We just don't have the size. Be very hard, yeah.
Okay. And personally, where do you like personally, professionally, in the sense where
Sure.
do you want to compete at some levels? Do you want to have this?
I'd like to compete at black belt now. I haven't done that. That would be something that I'm really excited about. Win, lose, whatever. I have a couple more years to do it, so I'm going to do it till I can. Until, again, the wheels fall off. As long as my body is supporting me and I'm not injured, I would like to do it.
Okay.
That would still be professional. It's not a personal...
Personally, like you want to retire, like, you know.
Personally, I just,
leave the leave that, and just.
Personally, I want to like
do farming,
live in the mountains, and be 100 kilometers away from the next person. That's my goal personally. And no social media, so they can't contact me. So maybe have a little farm, a little garden I can manage.
So other people right now, who, because you're not the social media, and then they catch a hold of you, or the only way they can catch a hold of you is to come to the gym.
Yeah.
Like, has that happened?
Yes,
like,
quite a
people
bit.
have come to the gym just to meet you.
Yeah, they want to talk about something. But otherwise, people have if they have my number, it's great. Or they call the gym. And but yeah, I try to not be in contact with anyone.
But what if you enter the UFC and then you need to use
Mohit?
No.
Mohit Chawla Zindabad. Mohit Chawla is going to be the face of it. Mohit Chawla is going to be in all the interviews. Mohit Chawla's number is going to be there. Mohit Chawla's email ID is going to be there. I am not going to be the guy.
No, but for example, it's a part of the deal. Like, you are in the UFC.
Yeah.
You need to use WhatsApp.
I won't
You
use
need to
it.
be on your social media.
It'll be the gym's WhatsApp number.
No, but you need to be like, they request you nicely.
Yeah.
Of course. I'm just putting a situation for you. And then they say that you need to put from your social media handle.
No problem. I'll get somebody to handle my social media handle. I'm not going to do it personally. That'll kill me.
It's a one-off thing, maybe.
Yeah, one-off is fine. No problem.
Yeah.
I'm not totally averse to it. Of course, for the UFC, if the fighter is if I don't do it, he doesn't get it. Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
No, without even
So there
thinking.
is a chance.
No, there is a chance. But like, again, it's not about me. It's about them. Yeah, hopefully we'll see it soon. But otherwise, you see Mohit Chawla giving a lot of interviews. Don't worry about it. If things go well, Mohit's going to be famous very soon.
What if he decides to even go incognito like
I'll find somebody else. Fair enough. But not like Mohit.
Like you both are standing bazu.
कोई और है nominal head.
Yeah.
आप बोलो. हम नहीं बोलेंगे. वो भी हो सकता है. Easily done.
Yeah.
But Mohit loves it. Yeah.
No, it's good. Like,
He's obsessed with his phone. He loves it. In fact, his wife's one of her biggest complaints are that you're always on the phone. You'd never spend time with me. So
must be work.
Ghanta work. Already on Instagram all the time. But yes.
I just saw his reel in the morning. Right
what is
now.
it? His new gym?
Yeah, it's like expanding into
Yes. Into
Chandi.
No, Vasant Kunj.
Vasant
Kunj. So he's got Combat Lab is in Vasant Vihar. And now they're opening a new branch in Vasant Kunj.
He looks all jacked up. I mean,
dude, he's been lifting weights. Even his neck has become thicker.
I just saw his
picture of
like lifting weights and
the vascularity of it. I got to watch out for him.
I think we need to have podcasts with both of you on.
I think that'll be really fun.
Yeah.
And let's schedule it.
He looks calm, but when you start talking to him,
he's insane.
Yeah.
He's insane.
And he's got good knowledge and everything.
And no filter.
Yeah.
So you think I don't have a filter, you got to spend some time with him. Kuch bhi bolta hai. You ask him a question, he will not hold back. So
I love the fact that he also uses Casios like me.
Oh yeah.
So,
I gave him one for his last birthday, which is his...
the Casio Oak?
Yeah. No, not that one. I gave him a blue one with a big digital one for cornering.
Yeah.
So that he can corner easy, see it from a distance. Okay. So again, usefulness over aesthetics.
Okay. Because the thing is, and we hope to see you in Bombay a little more than... I mean, you've come to Bombay after almost...
Yeah.
5
years. 2019.
Yeah, I mean, ab thoda jaldi aana chahiye.
I came here for MFN. I forget which one it was, but I was cornering Mayank Kohli in his pro debut. And that was our first MFN fight.
Like, it's not a new city for you. I mean, you have friends,
No, I have a lot of friends and family here.
So I think you should,
Yeah, I mean...
at least once a year.
Yeah, it's a lovely place. I love it.
And it's not far. It's just a couple of hours away.
Yeah.
The fact that Delhi airport takes... it's
2 hours to get to some days.
Inside the airport. Trust me.
Digi Yatra?
I avoided it.
Dude, Digi Yatra will get you through
in
like that.
Jiffy, yeah.
5 minutes from end to end. It's so useful.
Yeah, so I got it done. Like I went to Rajkot like a week back. My friends made me do it.
Good. It'll save you a lot of time and you travel a lot.
I was fighting with them. I was
Yeah.
like, no, your data is not safe.
It's not. It's gone.
So they are like, your Aadhaar card is not
Yeah,
safe.
it's gone.
I was like,
Nothing
it's
is
a
safe.
never-ending cycle.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
No, you're exposed now. वो तो हो गया.
So-
अब गए.
Exactly.
In those terms, you have no privacy
Yeah,
now.
so that's what I'm saying. Like you should come to Bombay.
No, I will. And
Trust me, we won't
always
post on social media that you came on. Because if you do, I think a lot of Bombay people also would love to.
I'm hoping to get some training in this weekend.
Yeah, and I think
Tomorrow before I go.
yeah, so many gyms in Bombay.
Yeah, tons.
And so many of his students are here.
That's one of the reasons. Like, I would never see myself like opening a gym here. The market is capped, I think.
I think it's just starting. I mean,
Yeah?
yeah, and I think a lot of this,
A lot of big names here, man.
everyone could help out each other.
Sure.
And Bombay is too big.
Yeah.
I think we can have a fascinating sea-facing gym, and
That would be the dream. That would be really nice.
Mohit would love it.
Oh, Chawla ji would love that.
You can have a 2-floor gym and just facing the sea, sipping coffee, and oh my God.
Yeah. He would love that.
You could also have a beach, by the way. You could have a beach touching. Trust me, you can have that.
Chawla ji once had thought of opening a gym in Goa. But then he realized that from a business perspective, it doesn't work out very well.
Yeah. Anyways, I mean, even no gym, you guys should come to Bombay more.
No, we will. And we'll do a podcast together with him.
Of course,
next time.
would love to do that.
I'll bring him with me next time.
Yeah. But I'm starting a thing where we play FIFA and we stream it.
Oh, dude, I'm terrible.
So I saw you playing a lot of places.
I try, but I don't have my own. So whenever my friends call me over,
you don't use a phone. A lot of people around you are using phones.
Yeah, I know.
So we can see you playing FIFA games.
Mo is really good at FIFA.
Yeah, so
I'm terrible.
That's something which we could do is...
Yeah, so I get Soccer Aid and you can have... you can take like Chelsea. You could have Chelsea. No. Oh, United is also fine right now. Updated, right? 2025?
Yeah.
you
shit.
take. No, you take them. Abhi 2 saal hai unke paas.
What I'm saying. So we could do that. Like, you guys
I mean,
should come over and...
I mean, we get a fourth, we can play 2v2.
Yeah, of course.
Let's do it. We play Ashes cricket after that also. I mean...
We'll again have you... Because I think this podcast was almost 2 years in the making.
Yeah.
I think since I started my season 1, now there's no more any seasons. Like it's a episode thing. So I remember asking you and you said, Aunga, but like I can do it. But for that, I need to come to Bombay.
Yeah. And I worked out perfectly. You're the first person I messaged that I'm coming here.
So I'm thankful for that because...
No, thank you for having me. This was really fun.
It's like having you on record saying a few things which help us out, which will help a lot of athletes out, which will help a lot of gym owners, which will help coaches, which will also...
I hope so.
Maybe people around you who know you very well, still it might give them few insights in your life which they did not know before, hopefully.
Yeah, possible. And I really hope that you keep having incredible guests on. I've watched your podcast for a while.
Yeah, I mean,
and for you to consistently do this is not easy. It's work. I mean, just the setup you have is incredible. It blows my mind. So,
but I feel you should also have one because you have the place, you have the resources, you have the personality, you have the guest, you have everything. It's just you don't want to do it maybe.
Again, Mohit Chawla for the win.
So you could do a 2-person podcast where you're just sitting with
just looking at people, just staring at them.
Yeah, just sitting and
while Mohit asks the questions.
With your sunglasses on and just judging people. Like that. That'll be fun.
That sounds more like Mohit than me actually.
Yeah, so I mean, see.
Yeah.
It's the youngest you'll ever be.
Yeah, you're right.
So you could do it. Before retiring to the mountains, you could do something and...
I'm going next week. What are you talking about?
No, before retiring.
Yeah, next week. I'm done.
After UFC and
everything. Yeah. Let's hope it works out, man.
So, thank you.
Thank you for having me. This was fun. Finally get to see this place.
Yeah, of course. And,
it smells so clean. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, you have tried to do that. I
tried to do this in my gym, but I tried nowhere close.
I'll tell you the secrets. I have few.
Okay. I'll hold on to that.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doc.
And it's lovely talking to you, having you. And again, have soon. Again, you have Again, we'll have Mohit also. Hopefully.
Yes, let's do it.
And you can get more people.
For sure. Tell me who you want on, I'll bring them. Get Chungring and Sanjeet Budhwar on and have them on together.
We could have a group podcast also.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're expanding.
No, but Chungring, Sanjeet and you.
Yeah. We could do
that. Good. That'll be funny. Those guys together is amazing.
We could do in the mountains for that.
Yeah, let's do. I'm in.
Because I'm seeing their stories in the mountain. Like, I think
Chungring's become big time now.
His personality is completely changed. Like over the last
online.
Online, of course. Online. Offline, he was still the same, but online, he's become more social media acceptable.
He's learned that it's helping him, so he's going with it.
Hopefully, one of our fighters, whoever it is, should make it to the UFC soon.
I hope so. Thank you.
You know better who's going to
I don't know. It could be anybody. His luck is a big factor.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doc. I appreciate it. It was fun.
Yes.
Let's do it.
I just tell him to take a read.
Bilkul, sir.
I think a story, that's it.
Sure. Please message.
Ask your aunt for C.